You've heard it's the song of God. You've seen its verses quoted in films, books, and speeches. But have you ever truly understood what the Bhagavad Gita is really saying to you? What if I told you that a battlefield conversation from over 5,000 years ago holds the key to solving your deepest modern-day struggles, confusion, anxiety, failure, even identity? Here's a prince, Arjuna, paralyzed by doubt, and beside him stands Krishna, not just as a charioteer, but as the voice of cosmic wisdom. What did Krishna whisper that transformed a broken warrior into a fearless soul? In the next few minutes, you'll discover why confusion is not weakness, but the beginning of wisdom. How action without attachment leads to freedom. The secret behind karma, devotion, and inner peace. And the ultimate truth about who you really are. But before you get lost in this video, kindly tap the like button. It's free for you, but it helps this video reach someone out there who might really need it today. Let's spread something good together. And if possible, also consider subscribing to the channel. It truly supports me in bringing more content like this to you. Thank you so much. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the Yoga of Arjuna's Dejection. Theme: human conflict, emotional breakdown, and the birth of inner inquiry. The Bhagavad Gita opens on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where two royal families, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, stand ready for war. At the center of this great war is Arjuna, the mighty warrior prince of the Pandavas, known for his courage, skill, and honor. But what happens next is something no one expects, not even Arjuna himself. As conch shells blow and armies prepare to fight, Arjuna asks his charioteer, Lord Krishna, to drive his chariot into the middle of the battlefield so he can see who he must fight. But when he sees the faces of his relatives, beloved teachers, friends, and elders, on both sides, Arjuna is shaken to his core. Arjuna's inner collapse. Arjuna begins to tremble. His hands weaken, his skin burns, his mind reels. He sees his own family members lined up to kill or be killed. He turns to Krishna and says, "How can I fight against my grandfather Bhishma or my teacher Drona? They are like fathers to me. Killing them for a kingdom, I'd rather die." He throws down his bow and arrows, sits down in the chariot, and refuses to fight. A universal crisis. This moment isn't just about war, it's about the human struggle we all face. When duty feels too heavy, when emotions cloud our judgment, when we feel lost between what's right and what's easy. Arjuna's breakdown reflects our own moments of fear, confusion, and hesitation. He's not weak, he's human. The beginning of the Gita's wisdom. But this breakdown is important. It creates a gap, a pause. In this gap, Arjuna turns to Krishna for answers. He says, "I am your student now. Please guide me. Tell me what is right." And with that, a warrior becomes a seeker. His journey shifts from the battlefield outside to the battlefield within. Key takeaways from Chapter 1. Even the strongest people can break down when faced with emotional conflict. Questioning your role and purpose is not weakness, it's the first step toward clarity. The Gita begins not with answers, but with honest questions born from pain. True wisdom begins when we stop pretending to know and start seeking to learn. Arjuna's dejection, his Vishada, is not a failure. It's the doorway through which divine wisdom enters. And now the stage is set. In the next chapter, Krishna will begin speaking, not just as a charioteer, but as the voice of eternal truth. Chapter 2. Sankhya Yoga, the Yoga of Knowledge. Theme: self-knowledge, detachment, and the birth of true wisdom. Arjuna is still overwhelmed, sitting hopeless in his chariot. The once great warrior is now paralyzed by doubt and sorrow. In this critical moment, Krishna finally speaks, but he doesn't start with comfort. He starts with clarity. Krishna's wake-up call. Krishna looks at Arjuna and says, "You speak words of wisdom, Arjuna, but you grieve for those who don't need to be grieved." He tells Arjuna bluntly, His sorrow is rooted in misunderstanding. He is confusing the temporary body with the eternal soul. The soul is eternal. This is the central truth of Sankhya Yoga. The soul is never born, and it never dies. It is unborn, eternal, and unchanging. When the body dies, the soul lives on. Krishna explains that death is not the end. Just like a person changes clothes, the soul changes bodies. The real you cannot be destroyed, not by weapons, fire, water, or wind. This idea shakes Arjuna's perception of life and death. Duty without attachment. Then Krishna shifts to action. He says, "Do your duty, Arjuna. Fight, not for victory or defeat, gain or loss, pleasure or pain. Just act, without attachment." This is the beginning of Karma Yoga, acting selflessly without craving the results. It's not about winning the war, it's about doing what's right, with a clear and focused mind. Wisdom over emotion. Krishna speaks of the Sankhya perspective. A wise person stays balanced in success and failure, pleasure and pain. Such a person is not shaken by life's ups and downs. Why? Because they know the difference between the real, the soul, and the unreal, the body, emotions, desires. Who is a wise person? Krishna describes the qualities of an enlightened being, one who controls desire, one who is steady in joy and sorrow, one who is free from ego and attachment, one who is content within themselves. Such a person is called Sthita Prajna, a person of steady wisdom. Key takeaways from Chapter 2. You are not your body or emotions. You are the eternal soul. Don't cling to outcomes. Focus only on the right action. Wisdom means remaining calm in chaos, strong in sorrow, and humble in success. True growth starts when you let go of fear, doubt, and ego. Chapter 2 is the foundation of the entire Gita. It introduces the essence of spiritual detachment, self-knowledge, and purposeful action. Arjuna is no longer just a confused warrior. He is becoming a spiritual seeker, walking the path of wisdom. Chapter 3. Karma Yoga, the yoga of action. Theme: selfless action, duty, and freedom through work. Arjuna is still confused. He asks Krishna, "If knowledge is greater than action, why do you ask me to fight this war? Should I act or renounce everything?" Krishna's answer becomes the heart of Karma Yoga, the yoga of action. The truth: you cannot escape action. Krishna explains that no one can avoid action. Even sitting quietly is an action. The body and mind are always at work. So the goal is not to escape action, but to perform action rightly. That means without selfish desire, without attachment to results, as a service to a greater purpose, the power of selfless work. Krishna says, "Do your duty because it is your duty, not for reward. When you act without selfish motive, you are free." This is the essence of Karma Yoga. Act as a servant of Dharma, universal order. Let go of I and mine. Focus only on doing what must be done. Set an example for the world. Krishna gives a powerful insight. Great people must act, not just for themselves, but to guide others. If leaders become lazy or selfish, society will follow. So a wise person must continue to work, not for gain but to inspire. Action versus inaction. There are two kinds of people: those who act for ego, desire, and reward. Those who act without attachment, offering all action to the divine. Both are doing the same work, but their intentions create different results. One creates bondage, the other brings freedom. Detach from the outcome. Krishna reminds Arjuna, "You have control over your action, not over its result." This one teaching changes everything. You become peaceful, fearless, and balanced when you work hard, stay focused, accept all outcomes equally. Success or failure, both become steps on your path. Understand your nature. Every person has a nature, called swabhava, and a duty, called swadharma. Arjuna is a warrior. To fight for justice is his sacred duty. Avoiding action out of fear or emotion is not spiritual. It is escape. Krishna says, "It is better to fail in your own duty than succeed in someone else's." Key takeaways from Chapter 3. Work is worship, when done without ego and greed. Desireless action leads to inner peace and outer success. Leadership means service, acting to inspire, not dominate. Your nature and duty are not burdens. They are your path to liberation. In this chapter, Krishna teaches Arjuna and all of us that we must not run from our responsibilities. Instead, we must transform them into a path of spiritual growth through intention and detachment. The battlefield of life is not avoided. It is walked with courage, wisdom, and selflessness. Chapter 4. Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of knowledge and renunciation of action. Theme: wisdom behind action, divine knowledge, and true renunciation. Chapter 4 opens with a surprising revelation. Krishna tells Arjuna, "This eternal wisdom of action and knowledge, I taught it first to the sun god, who passed it on to great kings. But with time, it was lost. That same ancient knowledge I now give to you." Arjuna is shocked. "But how can you say that? You were born recently. The sun god existed long ago." And Krishna smiles, Krishna's divine identity. For the first time, Krishna reveals who he truly is. "Though I appear to be born, I am unborn. I manifest through my own divine energy, again and again, when truth declines and injustice rises." He says, "Whenever Dharma is in danger, I come, to protect the good, destroy evil, and re-establish righteousness." This is one of the most powerful teachings in the Gita. God takes form again and again to guide humanity, how to act without bondage. Krishna now connects action with wisdom. He says, "Even though I act, I am not bound, because I act without desire." And so can you, when your actions are done, with no selfish attachment, as a service to the divine, with knowledge of the eternal soul. Then those actions leave no karma behind. This is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa, renunciation through knowledge. True renunciation is internal. Renunciation doesn't mean quitting your job or family. It means letting go of ego, dropping the sense of "I am the doer," seeing yourself as an instrument of God's will. You continue to live, work, and serve, but you stay free within. The fire of knowledge burns karma. Krishna uses a metaphor. Just as fire burns wood to ashes, the fire of true knowledge burns all your past karma. This knowledge is not book learning. It is the direct realization that you are the eternal self. All beings are one. God is the doer behind all actions, the qualities of a wise seeker. Krishna says a true spiritual seeker is humble, sincere, eager to learn, devoted to the truth, peaceful and balanced. Such a person approaches a realized master with reverence and openness, not arrogance. No more confusion. Finally, Krishna encourages Arjuna. "Let the sword of knowledge cut away your ignorance. Rise, Arjuna, with a peaceful heart and act in the world." This is not blind action, but action powered by clarity and devotion. Key takeaways from Chapter 4. God appears on earth in human form to restore balance, avatara concept. You can act in the world without creating karma, if you act with wisdom and surrender. Renunciation is not external, it is inner detachment. Spiritual knowledge destroys ignorance and leads to freedom. A true student must be humble, disciplined, and open to learning. In Chapter 4, Krishna blends action and knowledge into one powerful path. This is the middle way, not running from life, nor being trapped in it. It is the way of conscious living, where every action becomes a step toward liberation. Chapter 5. Karma Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of renunciation. Theme: renunciation versus action, and the secret to inner peace. As the dialogue continues, Arjuna is still unsure. He asks Krishna, "You've praised both renunciation of action, sannyasa, and selfless action, karma yoga. Which one is better? Which path should I follow? Krishna answers with deep clarity. Two paths, one goal. Krishna says both renunciation and selfless action lead to liberation, but karma yoga is superior for most people. True renunciation is not giving up work, it is giving up attachment to the results. Renouncing action physically, like leaving society, without inner detachment, can still bind the soul. But acting with wisdom and surrender leads to freedom. Who is a true renunciate? A person who works without selfish desire, treats success and failure equally, feels no hatred or craving, is detached, but still loving and kind, is already a true sannyasi, even if still living and working in the world. Such a soul is at peace, neither doing nor causing anything to be done. This is the secret. You don't have to run from life to be spiritual. You just have to purify your intention. The peace of the detached soul. Krishna says, the one who is free from ego, whose intellect is steady, and whose desires are calm, such a person is not bound by karma. This person sees no difference between heat and cold, praise and blame, joy and sorrow. They have gone beyond the dualities of life. They are like the ocean, still, vast, and unaffected by waves, seeing God in all. The enlightened being sees the same divine presence in a wise priest, a cow, an elephant, a dog, or even someone considered low. No one is higher or lower, because God is in all. Such a vision is called samadarsana, equal vision. The state of supreme joy. Krishna beautifully describes the inner experience of a liberated soul. Those who find joy within, who see the self in the self, and are united with the divine, they attain everlasting peace. Their happiness does not depend on outer things. It is internal, unshakable, and divine. Let go and be free. Krishna says, abandoning all desires, controlling the senses, and turning inward, such a person finds lasting joy. This is not a denial of life. It's a shift of focus, from outside to inside, from ego to self. Key takeaways from Chapter 5. True renunciation is internal, not external. Action with detachment and devotion is the safest, strongest path. The enlightened soul sees all beings as equal expressions of God. Inner peace is possible when you let go of ego, desire, and duality. Work, when done in the right spirit, becomes a path to freedom. In this chapter, Krishna clears the confusion. You don't need to leave the world to be free. You just need to shift your mindset. Live, love, act, but stay unattached. That's the path of a true yogi. Chapter 6. Dhyana Yoga, the yoga of meditation. Theme: discipline, inner peace, and the path of the meditative yogi. After learning about selfless action and renunciation, Arjuna wants to know more. How can I gain true control over my mind? How can I connect deeply with the self? In Chapter 6, Krishna introduces a powerful path, Jnana Yoga, the yoga of meditation, where the mind is mastered, the ego is silenced, and inner peace becomes real. Who is a true yogi? Krishna explains that a yogi is not one who just gives up work or rituals. The true yogi is one who performs his duty without attachment, without desire for results, and treats everyone with equal vision. He combines the best of karma yoga and sannyasa. He works, but inwardly remains still. The discipline of meditation. Now Krishna gives clear steps for practicing meditation. Sit alone in a clean, quiet place. Make your seat firm and comfortable. Keep the spine straight, body balanced. Focus the mind, gently and steadily. Let go of desires, thoughts, and distractions. Control the wandering mind. Bring it back from wherever it runs, and rest it in the self. Discipline is key. Without regular practice, the mind becomes restless. But with patience, effort, and faith, the inner light begins to shine. The balanced life of a yogi. Krishna warns, extremes are dangerous. A yogi, doesn't eat too much nor too little, doesn't sleep too much nor too little, lives in balance, physically, mentally, emotionally. Yoga is not for the lazy or the fanatical, it is for the balanced person. When the mind is calm and the senses are controlled, the yogi sees the true self, shining within, beyond sorrow, the joy of the inner world. Krishna says, when the mind is stilled and anchored in the self, the yogi experiences unshakable happiness. It is not dependent on the outer world. It is divine bliss, untouched by time or pain, compassion and oneness. The advanced yogi sees God in all beings and all beings in God. He sees no enemy, no stranger, only unity. One who feels the pain and joy of others as his own. Such a person is the highest yogi. This is not just meditation in silence. It is living meditation through love and empathy. What if I fail? Arjuna asks a genuine question. What if someone begins meditation but falls back due to weakness or distraction? Will all that effort be wasted? Krishna replies with compassion, no effort on the spiritual path is ever lost. Even failure brings future progress. Such a soul will be reborn in a wise or pure family and will naturally continue the journey in the next life. Eventually, that soul will reach liberation, the supreme yogi. Krishna ends the chapter with a powerful statement. Among all yogis, the one who is full of love, who surrenders to me with faith, that person is the highest of all. Even meditation, when done with devotion to the divine, becomes a rocket to spiritual freedom. Key takeaways from Chapter 6. A true yogi is disciplined, detached, and compassionate. Meditation is the path to inner stillness and real joy. Balance in food, sleep, work, and thought is essential. No spiritual effort is ever wasted. Even failure leads forward. The best yogi is the one who meditates with love for God and all beings. Chapter 6 teaches us that the outer world may be chaotic, but the inner world can be calm like a silent lake. Through steady meditation and devotion, we learn to live in the world, but no longer be ruled by it. Chapter 7 Jnana Vijnana Yoga, the Yoga of Knowledge and Realization. Theme: Knowing God, Understanding the Universe, and Awakening Devotion. By Chapter 7, Arjuna has been trained in discipline, action, renunciation, and meditation. Now, Krishna opens the door to divine knowledge, both theoretical, jnana, and experiential, vijnana. Krishna doesn't just teach what to do anymore. He reveals who he is, what this world truly is, and how we can know the divine directly. Two kinds of knowledge. Jnana, intellectual knowledge, concepts, philosophy. Vijnana, realized knowledge, direct experience of the truth. Krishna says, now I will teach you fully. Nothing will remain unknown if you understand this well. Krishna is the source of all. Krishna reveals a cosmic truth. Everything you see, earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect, and ego, are my 8 material energies. But he also adds, beyond these is my higher energy, the living soul, Jiva. It is this soul that sustains the world. In simple words, the world is Krishna's body, and all beings are his children. I am the taste of water, the light in the sun and moon, the sound in space, and the life in all beings. The reason people don't see the truth. Krishna explains why most people remain trapped in illusion. Because of Maya, divine illusion, people see only the surface of things. They worship wealth, pleasure, ego, but not me, the source behind all. They are distracted by desires, unaware of the divine essence running through all life. 4 types of seekers. Krishna describes 4 kinds of people who turn to him: the distressed, seeking relief from suffering; the seekers of knowledge; the seekers of success and material gain; the wise, those who know God and seek nothing else. Among them, the wise, who worship me with love and knowledge, are the most dear to me. But Krishna accepts all seekers with open arms. Why people worship other gods? Krishna explains, even when people worship other deities with faith, they are actually worshipping me, though unknowingly. He grants their faith and blesses them with results, but their rewards are temporary. Those who worship me directly attain eternal union beyond birth and death. Understanding Krishna's divine nature. Krishna says, fools see me as a mere human, but I am the unborn, unmanifest Supreme Being. Only those with purified hearts, freed from attachment and ego, can truly understand his divine nature. This is not about religion. It's about recognizing the infinite in the finite, clarity through devotion. When a person takes shelter in me with unwavering devotion, I grant them the wisdom by which they come to me. It's not about how much you know, but how deeply you surrender. Faith and love become the bridge from Jnana to Vijnana. Key takeaways from Chapter 7. The entire material world is made of Krishna's energy. Behind illusion, Maya, lies the one divine reality. People approach God in different ways, but all paths begin to unite. Devotion, even from the simplest heart, is enough to reach God. Knowing about God is not enough. Experiencing Him is the goal. In Chapter 7, the Gita shifts from personal struggle to universal truths. Krishna reveals his cosmic nature, the mystery of creation, and the path of loving surrender. This chapter invites us to stop asking, "Where is God?" and start realizing, God is everywhere. God is everything. God is within you. Chapter 8. Akshara Brahma Yoga, the Yoga of the Imperishable Brahman. Theme: Death, the Eternal Soul, and Attaining God in the Final Moment. After hearing Krishna's revelations in Chapter 7, Arjuna becomes deeply curious. He now asks questions that we all wonder silently. What happens when we die? Who or what is the Supreme Reality? Can we truly reach God at the time of death? What is the best way to leave this world? Chapter 8 is Krishna's compassionate and clear answer, where he reveals the mystery of death and how to go beyond it. Arjuna's core questions. Arjuna asks, what is Brahman, Supreme Reality? What is the self? What is karma? What happens to the soul after death? And how can I reach you at the final moment? These questions are timeless and universal, and Krishna answers them one by one. What is Brahman? Krishna says, Brahman is the imperishable, eternal truth beyond form and time. Adhyatma is the self, Atman, within every being. Karma is the actions that bind the soul to the cycle of birth and death. So Brahman is the ultimate reality, the self is your true nature, and karma is the mechanism of rebirth. The secret of the final moment. Krishna now reveals something profound. Whatever a person remembers at the time of death, that they attain in the next life. This means, your final thoughts shape your next birth. But he adds, those who remember me with full devotion at the time of death, they come to me and are never born again. This is not just about last-minute effort. It's about living with constant remembrance so that in your final breath, your heart automatically turns toward God. The yogic path to freedom. Krishna describes a spiritual practice for leaving the body in full awareness. Control your senses. Fix your mind in the heart. Channel your energy upwards through the third eye. Chant Om, the sacred sound of the divine. Think only of God with a steady mind. Such a soul reaches the supreme abode and never returns to this world of suffering. This is the ancient practice of dying consciously, not in fear, but in divine awareness. The two paths after death. Krishna reveals two possible journeys of the soul. The path of light, Uttarayana. Souls who die with spiritual awareness ascend to higher realms and reach liberation. The path of darkness, Dakshinayana. Souls who die in ignorance return to rebirth. These are symbolic ways to show the inner condition of the soul, not about calendar dates, but consciousness at the time of death. devotion above all. Even though these paths exist, Krishna says, the one who is devoted to me with full heart surpasses all these paths and reaches me directly. This chapter emphasizes that devotion, bhakti, is more powerful than rituals or yogic control. A heart full of love and surrender will always find its way home. Krishna's eternal abode. Krishna describes his supreme realm. That world is not lit by the sun, moon, or fire. It is beyond time. Once you reach there, you never return. It is my supreme abode. This is moksha, freedom from the cycle of birth and death. It is not a place in space, but a state of eternal union with God. Key takeaways from Chapter 8. Your final thoughts shape your future. Remembering God at death leads to liberation. The constant practice of devotion prepares you for a conscious, peaceful transition. There are two paths after death, but bhakti, devotion, overcomes all boundaries. Krishna's supreme abode is eternal, peaceful, and free from rebirth. Chapter 8 brings comfort and clarity to one of life's deepest fears, death. It teaches that dying is not the end, but an opportunity for freedom. If we live our life with awareness, devotion, and love, then when the final moment comes, we can let go, not in fear, but in faith. Chapter 9. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga, the yoga of royal knowledge and royal secret. Theme: the supreme wisdom of divine love and the hidden secret to union with God. In Chapter 9, Krishna opens his divine heart wider than ever before. He says to Arjuna, and to you, the listener, now I shall give you the royal knowledge and the royal secret, the highest truth. It is pure, uplifting, easy to practice, and it brings direct liberation. This chapter is the spiritual core of the Gita, where Krishna blends ultimate wisdom with personal love, revealing the secret path to God that doesn't need rituals, philosophy, or renunciation, but just pure devotion. Why is this knowledge royal? Because it's Raja Vidya, the king of all wisdom, Raja Guhya, the most hidden and sacred truth, eternal and practical, capable of freeing you from suffering. This chapter reveals the easiest and most direct way to realize God. And what is that way? Bhakti, pure, loving devotion. God is within everything. Krishna now reveals his cosmic form. I am the seed of all beings. All living creatures come from me. I support the whole universe, yet I am not bound by it. He is both the creator and the essence of creation. Water, fire, wind, mountains, animals, the mind, ego, the stars, everything is Krishna in different forms. I am the taste of water, the light in the sun and moon, the sound in space, and the life in all beings. God is unseen because of Maya. Even though God is present everywhere, people don't recognize him because of Maya, illusion. They chase pleasure, wealth, or ego, missing the divine behind the world. But Krishna says, those who understand me as the hidden one in all, they are truly wise and devoted. The power of bhakti. Krishna emphasizes, even the simplest devotee who offers me a leaf, a flower, water, or fruit with love, I accept it with joy. It's not what you offer, it's how you offer it. You don't need money, status, or rituals, just a sincere heart. This is the great secret. God is easily pleased by pure love. Equality of all beings. Krishna declares something radical. Even the greatest sinner, if they turn to me with devotion, becomes righteous. No one is beyond redemption. Everyone has the right to reach me. He especially highlights women, merchants, laborers, people often seen as less spiritual by society, and says, all who take refuge in me can attain the supreme path. This is a revolution of divine love. Krishna is not the God of the elite. He is the God of all hearts. How to reach God. Krishna gives the royal formula. Fix your mind on me. Love me. Worship me. Offer everything to me. You shall surely come to me. This is my promise to you, because you are dear to me. There is no ambiguity, no secret code, No difficult path, just devotion, sincerity, surrender, and you are held in divine arms. Key takeaways from Chapter 9. God is the hidden life force within everything. Even a small offering, if made with love, pleases the divine. Bhakti, devotion, is the simplest, highest path to union with God. No one is excluded from spiritual liberation, not even the fallen. The most powerful spiritual practice is, think of me, love me, worship me, surrender to me. Chapter 9 is Krishna's divine love letter to every soul. It says, you don't need to be perfect to reach me. You just need to want me, trust me, love me, and I will carry you. This is not religion. It is relationship. Not fear, but faith. Not punishment, but grace. Chapter 10. Vibhuti Yoga, the Yoga of Divine Glories. Theme: discovering God's presence in everything great and beautiful. After hearing of Krishna's divine love and accessibility, Arjuna becomes full of reverence. In awe, he asks, "O Krishna, please tell me more. How can I recognize you in this world? In what forms do you exist? How do I meditate on you constantly?" In Chapter 10, Krishna answers with great joy. He reveals his vibhutis, his divine manifestations, the expressions of his glory scattered across creation. Krishna as the source of all. Krishna begins by declaring, I am the origin of all. Everything proceeds from me. The wise who understand this worship me with all their heart. This is the foundation of Vibhuti Yoga. Everything extraordinary, powerful, beautiful, or brilliant is a spark of God. How the wise devotees connect. Krishna says, those who love me with devotion, I give them the light of wisdom. I dwell in their hearts and destroy the darkness of ignorance. This is not abstract. Krishna becomes the inner guide of every devoted soul, gently showing the way. Arjuna's complete surrender. Overwhelmed by Krishna's words, Arjuna now fully surrenders. You are the supreme Brahman, the eternal source, the ultimate refuge of all. Only you know yourself. Please reveal how I may meditate on you in all things. This sets the stage for Krishna's poetic description of his glories. Krishna's divine glories, vibhutis. Krishna says, I am the self in all beings. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all. Then he gives examples, showing how his power and beauty appear in everyday life. Among gods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Among senses, I am the mind. Among elements, I am fire. Among mountains, I am the Himalayas. Among trees, I am the sacred peepal tree. Among rivers, I am the holy Ganga. Among weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among animals, I am the lion. Among birds, I am Garuda. Among men, I am the best among them. Among letters, I am the letter A. Among secrets, I am silence. And more. Krishna is telling us, wherever you see greatness, power, beauty, or majesty, see me there. Why these glories matter. Krishna says, these glories are only a small spark of my vast being. With just a part of myself, I sustain the entire universe. This means, you don't need to look for God in heaven. You can see God in the best of everything around you, whether in nature, knowledge, courage, or art. God is expressing himself constantly. Key takeaways from Chapter 10. Krishna is the origin, middle, and end of all existence. Everything great, beautiful, or powerful is a reflection of God's glory. Devotees who know this see the divine in all things. Even the mightiest forces are only a spark of Krishna's vastness. The world is not separate from God. It is a living expression of Him. In this chapter, Krishna teaches us a new kind of meditation. Not in silence alone, but in awareness. Every time you see something amazing, remember God. Let awe become devotion. Let wonder become worship. Chapter 11, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, the yoga of the vision of the cosmic form. Theme: witnessing the infinite. Krishna reveals his universal form. Until now, Krishna has described his greatness in words. But in chapter 11, Arjuna asks for something more. "O Krishna, I believe everything you've said, but if you think I'm worthy, show me your true universal form, the form that contains everything." Krishna agrees, but what he reveals next is not just divine. It is overwhelming, awe-inspiring, terrifying, and beyond human comprehension. Divine sight, the third eye. Before Arjuna can behold the universal form, Krishna gives him divine vision, Divya Chakshu. "You cannot see me with your ordinary eyes. I will give you the eyes to see my cosmic form." This is a key teaching. Spiritual truth can't be seen with physical eyes. It must be felt through awakened consciousness. Arjuna beholds the Vishwarupa. What follows is one of the most profound moments in all spiritual literature. Arjuna sees infinite faces, eyes and forms, countless arms, weapons, ornaments, the entire universe inside Krishna's body, all gods, sages, and creatures merging into him. Brilliant light like 1,000 suns rising at once, all directions vanishing, only Krishna remains. Time stops. Arjuna is shaken. He sees not only beauty, but also destruction, the terrible beauty of the divine. Arjuna sees warriors from both sides of the battle rushing into Krishna's mouths, being crushed by his teeth. Rivers of fire pour from his eyes. He asks in terror, "Who are you in this terrifying form?" Krishna replies, "I am time, the destroyer of worlds. I have come to devour all beings. Whether you fight or not, all these warriors are already doomed. Arise, Arjuna. Be my instrument." This is a shocking truth. God is not only the creator, but also the destroyer. Life and death, joy and sorrow, all flow from the same divine source. Arjuna's total surrender. Overwhelmed, trembling, Arjuna bows down. "I see you as the infinite. I didn't know your true nature. I spoke casually thinking you were my friend. Forgive me, O Lord of all. I take refuge in you. Be merciful." This is the moment of complete surrender. The warrior Arjuna becomes a true devotee. Return to the gentle form. Seeing Arjuna terrified, Krishna comforts him. "Do not fear. This cosmic form is rarely seen. Even gods long to see it. But now, I shall return to my human-like form that is dear to you." Krishna resumes his gentle, smiling appearance, and Arjuna feels peaceful again, the gift of devotion. Krishna ends the chapter with this promise: "The one who sees me as I am, not just with eyes, but with faith and devotion, is never reborn. Whoever works for me, loves me, surrenders to me, and is free of hatred, that person comes to me." This is the highest path, not vision, not ritual, not study, but loving surrender. Key takeaways from chapter 11. Krishna grants Arjuna the divine vision to see his universal form. The entire cosmos, including time, creation, and destruction, exists inside God. God is both beautiful and fearsome, the source of all opposites. Real surrender comes not from fear, but from awe and devotion. The highest way to reach God is not through miracles, but through selfless love. Chapter 11 is the emotional and spiritual climax of the Gita. It reminds us that the divine is not limited to temples or ideas. It is everything, everywhere, all at once. The lesson is clear. When you surrender, you are no longer just a person. You become an instrument of the divine. Chapter 12. Bhakti Yoga, the Yoga of Devotion. Theme: the power of love and the path of the devotee. After witnessing the majestic and terrifying Vishwarupa, universal form, Arjuna's heart is full of devotion. Now he wants to understand clearly. Which path is better, worshipping the formless, invisible Supreme, or worshipping you, the personal God with form? In chapter 12, Krishna gives a gentle, beautiful answer. He explains why devotion, bhakti, is the most loving, most accessible, and most joyful path to reach him. Formless versus personal God. Krishna says, "Those who worship the formless, infinite, unchanging reality. They too attain me. But the path is very difficult, because the mind struggles to hold on to the unseen. On the other hand, those who worship me as a person with faith and love, who offer their hearts to me and surrender their actions, they are very dear to me. So, while both paths lead to God, devotion to a personal form of the divine is easier for most people, because love flows naturally towards something the heart can connect with. What does a devotee do? Krishna lists simple and pure qualities of a true devotee, fixes the mind and heart on God, does all duties as an offering to the divine, has no ego, desire, or selfishness, is even-minded in pleasure and pain, is forgiving, kind, and content, is humble, self-controlled, and pure, has no hatred, fear, or envy, is loving toward all beings. Such a devotee is very dear to me. These qualities don't require rituals, wealth, or philosophy, just a pure heart and steady love, a ladder of surrender. Krishna understands that not everyone can fix their mind fully on God from the start, so he offers a gentle step-by-step path. Fix your mind on me. If not possible, practice remembering me daily through devotion. If that's too hard, dedicate your actions to me. If even that's difficult, give up attachment to results and perform duties with humility. No one is excluded. Krishna meets each soul where they are and offers a way forward. Who is most dear to God? Krishna beautifully describes his favorite kind of person. The one who neither disturbs the world nor is disturbed by it, who is free from excitement, fear, and anxiety, who is content, silent, steady in mind, full of faith. That person is my true devotee and is dearest to me. Love, peace, compassion, these are the signs of the bhakta, devotee. Devotion is for everyone. Krishna doesn't ask for status, intellect, or rituals. He only asks for love, faith, surrender. That's the secret of Bhakti Yoga. It's the path of the heart. Key takeaways from Chapter 12. Worship of a personal God with love and faith is the easiest and sweetest path. Even those who cannot meditate deeply can serve and remember God through daily life. A true devotee is humble, forgiving, compassionate, peaceful, and loving. God accepts all efforts, from devotion to simple action to surrender of ego. The devotee who lives with love and simplicity is the dearest to God. Chapter 12 is the soul of the Gita. It teaches that God doesn't need grand rituals or perfect minds. What he longs for is a loving heart, quiet, sincere, and full of faith. Even if you're weak, confused, or broken, if you turn to God with love, you are never rejected. Chapter 13. Kshetra Kshetranya Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of the field and the knower of the field. Theme: understanding the body, the soul, and the nature of true wisdom. After the emotional beauty of Bhakti Yoga, Krishna now leads Arjuna into a deeper understanding of what we truly are. In this chapter, he explains the difference between Kshetra, the field, the body, mind, and everything we experience, Kshetrajna, the knower of the field, the soul, the conscious witness within. By understanding this difference, we begin to realize the eternal self behind the ever-changing body. What is the field? Krishna says, the field, Kshetra, is the body, composed of matter, mind, ego, intellect, and senses. It includes everything you can see, touch, feel, and think. This field is temporary, ever-changing, subject to birth, decay, and death, governed by the laws of Prakriti, nature. Who is the knower of the field? The knower, Kshetranya, is the soul, the consciousness that sees, feels, and experiences the body. This is you, the real you, not your name, face, job, or thoughts. It is the eternal observer, untouched by pain, pleasure, or death. Krishna says, the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, is also the knower in all bodies. I dwell in the hearts of all beings, so in every body there is a personal soul, Jivatma, and behind all souls is Krishna himself, as the divine witness. What is true knowledge? Krishna gives a list of qualities that reflect real spiritual wisdom, not just intellectual learning: humility, non-violence, forgiveness, simplicity, detachment from sense pleasures, constant awareness of birth and death, freedom from ego, steady devotion to God, seeking inner truth, not outer drama. This is true knowledge. All else is ignorance. In short, wisdom is not about what you know, but about how you live, the nature of the Supreme. Krishna describes the supreme reality, Brahman. It has hands and feet everywhere, eyes, heads, and mouths in all directions. It is within all beings and beyond all beings. It is the light of all lights, beyond darkness. Though it cannot be seen by the senses, it can be known through pure inner awareness. The union of the knower and the Supreme. Krishna says, "The one who sees that the soul is eternal, that it dwells in all bodies, and that it is unchanging even as bodies change, that person has true vision. This vision ends ignorance, destroys fear, and awakens liberation." Key takeaways from Chapter 13. The body, mind, and senses are the field, temporary. The soul is the knower of the field, eternal. God, Paramatma, is the supreme knower in all beings. True wisdom includes humility, detachment, and devotion. Real vision is seeing unity behind diversity and spirit behind matter. In Chapter 13, Krishna gives us a mirror to look beyond our face, name, and body, to realize, I am not this temporary body. I am the eternal witness, pure consciousness, joined with the divine. This chapter is liberation through insight. Once you know who you really are, you are free. Chapter 14. Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of the three gunas. Theme: the three qualities of nature that bind the soul. After revealing the eternal soul and the body in Chapter 13, Krishna now answers a deep question. If the self is pure, why does it behave differently in each person? Why are some people calm, some restless, and some stuck in laziness? In Chapter 14, Krishna explains the secret forces that drive all human behavior, the three gunas, qualities of nature. These are sattva, purity, harmony, light; rajas, passion, activity, desire; tamas, darkness, laziness, ignorance. These three gunas constantly mix and influence how we think, feel, and act. The origin of the gunas. Krishna says, the three gunas arise from prakriti, nature. They bind the immortal soul to the body by influencing its behavior. Even though the soul is eternal and free, it gets entangled in the body and mind due to the pull of these gunas. 1. Sattva, the guna of purity and knowledge. Sattva is clear, luminous, and peaceful, associated with wisdom, joy, and truth, free from selfishness or attachment, elevating the soul upward toward liberation. But even sattva binds, because one may become attached to peace and knowledge. Sattva binds through attachment to happiness and wisdom. 2. Rajas, the guna of passion and action. Rajas is full of restlessness, desire, and craving, drives ambition, activity, and competition, always chasing success, power, or pleasure. Rajas leads to attachment and suffering because desires are never fully satisfied. Rajas binds the soul through attachment to action and its results. 3. Tamas, the guna of ignorance and inertia. Tamas is heavy, dull, lazy, confused, causes fear, delusion, procrastination, and self-destruction, leads to addiction, depression, and blindness to truth. Tamas binds by covering wisdom with darkness. It is the most dangerous, because it blocks awareness itself. How the gunas affect rebirth. Krishna says, one who dies in sattva is reborn in peaceful, wise environments. One who dies in rajas is reborn among those driven by desire. One who dies in tamas is reborn in ignorant lower conditions. The guna that dominates at the time of death shapes the next birth. Going beyond the gunas. Now comes the highest teaching, the wise one who sees the gunas as mere tools of nature and does not identify with them. Such a person is free. The soul who treats pleasure and pain alike, remains steady in success and failure, doesn't say, I am doing this, but sees actions as part of nature, rests in the self and serves God with love, goes beyond all three gunas and becomes truly liberated. Krishna calls this person Gunatta, the one who transcends the gunas. How to become Gunattara? Serve me with undivided devotion. Through love and surrender, you will go beyond the gunas and attain immortality. This is Krishna's final assurance in the chapter. He reminds us that love for God is the highest purifier. It lifts the soul beyond nature, into eternal freedom. Key takeaways from chapter 14. Everything in nature is governed by sattva, rajas, and tamas. These qualities influence thoughts, actions, emotions, and desires. Even goodness, sattva, can bind if one clings to peace or knowledge. The goal is to become gunattata, beyond the pull of any guna. Loving devotion to God is the highest way to transcend all conditioning. In chapter 14, Krishna gives us a mirror. Do you know which guna is ruling you today? Awareness of this can transform your inner world. And through devotion, we don't just manage the gunas, we rise above them. Chapter 15. Purushottama Yoga, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Theme: escaping the world of illusion and realizing the supreme divine within. In chapter 15, Krishna brings together all the spiritual lessons so far and presents the big picture of life. What is the universe really made of? Why do we keep getting trapped in birth and death? And who or what is the Supreme Person, Purushottama, beyond all these? This chapter is short, but extremely deep. It's like a summary of the Gita's wisdom, with a final key to escape illusion and attain liberation: the Ashvatha tree of samsara. Krishna begins with a powerful symbolic image. There is an eternal tree called Ashvatha. Its roots are above, in the divine, and its branches spread below, into the world. Its leaves are the Vedic hymns, and its roots bind souls through karma. This tree represents samsara, the endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The branches are our desires. The roots are our attachments. The fruit is pleasure and pain. It appears beautiful, but it traps the soul. To escape it, Krishna says, one must cut down this deep-rooted tree with the axe of non-attachment, then search for the Supreme, from where this illusion arises, the soul's real home. Once free from attachment, the soul begins to seek its true origin. Go to that place from which no one returns, that supreme abode of mine. This is not a physical place, it's a state of being, beyond birth and death. It's union with the Supreme Person, Purushottama. Who is the Jivatma, individual soul? Krishna explains, an eternal portion of me becomes the individual soul in the world of living beings. It draws the five senses and the mind from nature and uses them as its instruments. This means you are divine, a fragment of God. But when the soul enters the body, it forgets its true self. It identifies with the body and mind and gets caught in karma, pleasure, pain, and rebirth. The soul leaves and enters bodies. Krishna reveals a truth that matches modern metaphysics. When the soul leaves a body, it carries the mind and senses like the wind carries a scent, and enters another body, continuing its journey. So even death is not the end. It's just a transition in the soul's journey toward liberation. The light of consciousness. Krishna says, I dwell in the heart of all beings. I am the light of the sun and moon, the fire in your belly, the life in all things. Even your power to remember, learn, understand, comes from me, he says. Krishna is the awareness behind all awareness, the three kinds of persons. Krishna speaks of three realities: kshara, all perishable beings, humans, animals, plants; Akshara, the imperishable soul, the self within. Purushottama, the supreme person, higher than both body and soul. I am Purushottama, beyond the perishable and the imperishable. I am the eternal source of all. One who knows this truth, knows everything. This is the highest realization. The power of knowing Krishna. Krishna concludes, whoever knows me as the supreme person, not just intellectually, but through faith and love, that person is truly wise and becomes free from all bondage. This is not about philosophy. It's about recognizing your divine source and returning to it. Key takeaways from Chapter 15. The world is like a vast tree of illusion, rooted in desire and karma. To be free, we must cut attachment and seek the supreme source. The soul is eternal, moving from body to body. Krishna is the supreme person, Purushottama, beyond the body and even the soul. Knowing Krishna deeply and with devotion leads to freedom from rebirth. Chapter 15 is like a map, showing where we are, lost in the world tree, where we came from, the divine, and where we must go, the supreme abode. It reminds us, you are not just a body or even a soul. You are a spark of the supreme, meant to return to your eternal home. Chapter 16. Daiva Sura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of divine and demonic qualities. Theme: the two paths of human nature, light and darkness. In Chapter 16, Krishna gives us a clear spiritual mirror. He shows that every human being has two tendencies inside: the divine nature, Daivi Sampad, which leads to liberation; the demonic nature, Asuri Sampad, which leads to bondage and suffering. This chapter helps us recognize what's growing inside our mind and heart, which qualities move us toward peace and God, which qualities drag us toward ego, fear, and destruction. The divine qualities, Daivi Sampad. Krishna begins by listing the traits of those who are naturally drawn to truth, goodness, and the divine: fearlessness, purity of heart, self-control, non-violence, ahimsa, truthfulness, compassion, calmness, charity, and humility, steady devotion to God, lack of greed and anger, forgiveness, wisdom, and inner discipline. These divine qualities lead a person toward freedom and liberation. They purify the heart and awaken love, clarity, and peace. The demonic qualities, Asuri Sampad. Now Krishna explains the opposite nature, those full of ego, hate, and confusion, pride and arrogance, harshness, anger and cruelty, greed and lust, jealousy, hypocrisy, lack of faith in truth or God, material obsession, seeing oneself as the ultimate authority, feeling no guilt in hurting others. These demonic qualities keep a soul in endless bondage and sorrow. Such people may gain power or pleasure temporarily, but they drift far from inner peace and fall deeper into darkness. The root of demonic behavior. Krishna says, those with demonic nature believe there is no God, no truth. Life has no purpose except pleasure. They act out of desire, anger, and ego, and ruin themselves and others. They deny the divine order and live only for power, pride, and sense gratification, the fate of the demonic. Krishna warns, fallen in delusion, addicted to desires, bound by evil thoughts, such souls fall into lower realms, trapped in fear, ignorance, and endless rebirths. But this is not punishment, it's the natural result of inner disorder, the way to liberation. Krishna lovingly advises, give up pride, desire, and anger, live by the Shastra, scriptures, and follow divine guidance. Only then can you find peace, joy, and freedom. Even those stuck in darkness can transform if they choose to awaken. Shastra as a compass. Krishna emphasizes the importance of spiritual teachings. He who acts according to his own desires, ignoring the scriptures, does not reach perfection, happiness, or the supreme path. In other words, we must have a moral compass, not guided by mood or impulse, but by divine wisdom. Key takeaways from Chapter 16. Every soul contains both divine and demonic tendencies. Divine qualities like humility, peace, and devotion lead to liberation. Demonic qualities like arrogance, lust, and cruelty lead to bondage and suffering. Denying God and chasing ego leads to inner destruction. The path to freedom is through discipline, devotion, and surrender to higher truth. Chapter 16 is like a spiritual diagnosis report. Krishna doesn't judge, he educates. He shows us that heaven and hell are not places, they are states of being that we create inside ourselves. And with awareness, we can choose the divine path every day. Chapter 17. Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of the threefold faith. Theme: how faith, food, actions, and worship reflect the three gunas. In Chapter 17, Arjuna asks a practical question. What about people who worship with faith but don't follow scriptures? Is their devotion still valid? What kind of faith do they have? Krishna answers by explaining that faith, Shraddha, just like behavior, thoughts, and emotions, is influenced by the three gunas: sattva, pure, wise, peaceful; rajas, passionate, restless, showy; tamas, ignorant, lazy, harmful. Our faith, food, prayers, and even charity all take different forms based on the dominant guna within us. 3 types of faith. Krishna says, faith is shaped by one's nature, svabhava. The kind of person you are decides the kind of God you worship. Sattvic. Faith, directed toward God, truth, and purity, brings clarity, compassion, and inner peace, free from ego and selfishness. Rajasic faith, focused on power, success, and status, often showy, loud, and done for praise, motivated by desire, not devotion. Tamasic faith, based on fear, superstition, or harm, may involve strange rituals, violence, or intoxication, leads to delusion, not liberation. Each person's faith aligns with their inner qualities. Whatever they believe in deeply, they become that. 3 types of food. Krishna beautifully describes how food affects the body and mind. Sattvic food, fresh, natural, nourishing, increases life, energy, joy, and calmness. Examples: fruits, grains, milk, nuts, simple cooked meals. Rajasic food, over spicy, oily, bitter, dry, or too hot, creates restlessness, passion, and discomfort. Tamasic food, stale, leftover, processed, impure, or harmful, dulls the mind, promotes laziness and disease. You become what you eat, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. 3 types of sacrifice. Yajna. Krishna explains how even rituals and worship take different forms. Sattvic yajna, done with sincerity and devotion, follows proper guidance without expecting rewards. Rajasic yajna, performed for fame, pride, or personal gain, showy but shallow. Tamasic yajna, done blindly, without faith or understanding, may involve harm or superstition. 3 types of austerity. Tapas. Tapas means self-discipline or spiritual effort. It also reflects the gunas. Sattvic tapas, gentle, truthful speech, control over body and mind, humility, silence, study of scriptures, and devotion. Rajasic tapas, done for praise, fame, or status, temporary and ego-driven. Tamasic tapas, based on self-harm, pain, or harming others, dark, misguided effort. 3 types of charity. Dana. Charity is praised in the Gita, but again, motive matters. Sattvic charity, given at the right time, to the right person, without expecting return, done with compassion and humility. Rajasic charity, given with expectation, or for name and recognition. Tamasic charity, given without respect, at the wrong time, or to unworthy causes, may even harm rather than help. The power of the word, Om Tat Sat. Krishna ends with the sacred syllables, Om, the sound of the Supreme; Tat, that which belongs to God; Sati, truth, reality, and goodness. These are uttered during spiritual acts to purify intentions and align the self with the eternal truth. Whatever is done without faith is asat, not true. It bears no fruit, either in this world or the next. Key takeaways from Chapter 17. Faith is not enough. It must be guided by purity and wisdom. Even food, prayer, charity, and discipline reflect the three gunas. Sattvic choices uplift the soul toward peace and liberation. Acting without faith or understanding leads to spiritual failure. The intention behind every action is more important than the action itself. Chapter 17 teaches a timeless truth. Spirituality is not what you do, it's how and why you do it. It's not about perfection, it's about purity, sincerity, and self-awareness. Chapter 18. Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of liberation through renunciation. Theme: the grand conclusion, finding freedom, fulfillment, and eternal peace. In Chapter 18, Krishna brings together all the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, tying up every thread of wisdom into one unified path to liberation, moksha. This chapter is the climax, the summary, and the final call to action for Arjuna, and for every spiritual seeker. It re-emphasizes the essence of karma yoga, action without attachment, Jnana yoga, knowledge, and Bhakti yoga, devotion, leading to the ultimate surrender to the divine. Renunciation, sannyasa, versus abandonment, tyaga. Arjuna asks about renunciation. Krishna clarifies. Sannyasa is giving up actions motivated by desire. Tyaga is giving up the fruits of action. Krishna says that true renunciation is not about abandoning duties, but about giving up attachment to their results. You should perform your prescribed duties, but without selfish desire. Threefold action, knowledge, and the doer, by guna. Krishna revisits the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, to explain how they influence action, knowledge, and the doer. Sattvic, action, right, dutiful, without attachment. Rajasic action, driven by ego, desire for results. Tamasic action, deluded, harmful, done without foresight. Similarly, there are sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic forms of knowledge, intellect, steadfastness, and happiness. The goal is always to cultivate sattvic qualities and transcend the gunas. The 5 factors of action. Krishna reveals that every action has 5 factors: the body, the instrument; the doer, the ego thinking it's doing; the senses, tools for action; the efforts, the various endeavors; divine will, destiny, or a higher power. Understanding this helps diminish the ego's claim of being the sole doer, leading to detachment, the path to perfection. Krishna outlines the path to perfection. Perform your swadharma, your inherent duty, without attachment. Even imperfect duty done with sincerity is better than another's duty perfectly done. Control your mind and senses. Cultivate detachment from material desires. Practice meditation and inner stillness. Cultivate humility and give up ego. The ultimate secret, sarva guhyatamam. Krishna now delivers his most secret and supreme instruction. Listen again to my supreme word, the most secret of all. You are very dear to me. Therefore I will tell you what is good for you. Fix your mind on me. Be devoted to me. Worship me. Prostrate before me. You shall certainly come to me. This is my solemn promise to you, for you are dear to me. This is the essence of Bhakti Yoga, total surrender to God. The final command, surrender to me. Krishna culminates his teaching with the most pivotal verse of the Gita. Abandon all varieties of dharma, duties, religions, and simply surrender unto me alone. I shall liberate you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. This is not a call to abandon moral living, but to put God at the center of all actions and trust in His grace. When you surrender everything to the divine, you are freed from the burden of karma and the cycle of rebirth. The importance of sharing the Gita. Krishna states that whoever shares this sacred wisdom with sincere devotees will surely attain him. Arjuna's enlightenment. Finally, Arjuna, with a clear mind and awakened soul, declares, "My delusion is gone. I have regained my memory through your grace, O Ashyuta. I am firm, free from doubt, and ready to act according to your command." Arjuna rises from his dejection, ready to fulfill his duty with wisdom and divine consciousness. Key takeaways from Chapter 18. True renunciation, tyaga, is giving up attachment to results, not abandoning duties. All actions are influenced by the three gunas, and the goal is to transcend them. Performing one's swadharma with detachment is essential for growth. The supreme secret is unconditional surrender to God, Bhakti. By surrendering completely, one is liberated,